Cancer.
Do you follow Karen's daily scopes yet? If not, and wonder what they hold, click the sample link below and listen to both the Astro Scope and Tarot Scope, and get a feel for what you can expect in your love, career, and financial outlook for today.
Hello Cancer, this is your March forecast for 2014, and you got 2 new moons here this month, Cancer, and it's going to just shunt you into new beginnings. And the first new moon is at the top of the month, and we will see that in your 9th house. So March 1st, the Sun, new moon, and Neptune in this area of the 9th house is for you actually now starting to reach for those concepts of higher thinking, for the emotional soul searching, for how you can expand your spirit, your mind, and also your life in the overall. Some of you might just think you want to go back to school, take on a class, or maybe some of you might be looking into publishing or getting the word out, spreading your wisdom. Knowledge is one thing, but wisdom is something totally different. It is that higher knowledge, and this area is just totally lit up for you, especially because that new moon is going to be touching upon Neptune within those very first few hours of the first day of this new moon. And that is just going to bring maybe something either of an epiphany, it could be a spiritual experience, it could be just a vision or a revelation on some level. So pay attention there 1st, 2nd March on what this new moon is going to do for you. And also it is that time of the month to put in our intentions. And so when you get this feeling that you're reaching, soul searching and grasping for those higher insights, promise yourself, that should be the intention. I promise myself that I will put more time aside to do these things for the spiritual development of the overall good for higher self. So whether that means to put in a little bit more time for meditation, yoga, those kind of things, great place, great time to do that. Both the 9th and the 12th house are excellent areas for it. Now you got 2 new moons, like I said. The second one will be coming all at the end of the month here on March 30th, and this is going to start you off here in the area of career, and that new moon will be in the sign of Aries. So that will pack a punch of energy. It will have you really look at what it is now that you're going to be wanting to develop within your career, setting those future goals and grasping for the deeper inner need to start rising to the occasion and finding your ambitions and then pushing through and initiating here. So some of you can see that this new moon will be opening up doors for you, not just here, which will actually take you into April. We'll talk more about that next month, but it will actually set you on the chart for the whole rest of the year until next year at this time. The new moon here on the 30th will, within those first few hours in the first few days, transit over Uranus. So then you can expect the unexpected in the area of career. Put down your intentions here on this day about bringing more time, more focus, more dedication into this area, and you will see the possibilities now that's going to start coming into the mix, where you will be like a living magnet and draw to you those circumstances, people and places and opportunities that you have been seeking. But it's a great month for you, Cancer, because now we have still the workings of Jupiter in your house. It is still retrograde, and let's just talk a little bit about the retrogrades, because we just came out of Venus being retrograde in January, and then we just came out of Mercury retrograde in February, thinking back over, tweaking, making those decisions, making sure that we're on the right path, right? That's what Mercury does. It adjusts. So here on March 1st, we have the new moon, but also we have Mars going retrograde. And it will be retrograde to May 20th, And then we have March 2nd, we got Saturn going retrograde. So what's up with the planets? It's like ever since New Year, something's been retrograding, right? And this Saturn will be retrograding until July 20th. So we have, in fact, the first 7 months of this year where we as human species are looking back over our patterns, looking back over our habits, looking back over our lives, whether, you know, for some it's work, for others it's family, and then it's children, it's finances, all these things. Why are we needing to look back? Well, there's a time and a place to move forward. There's a time to kind of step back. I always say, listen to the music and then do the dance. So what is Mars retrograde going to be for you? For you, it's in the area of the home. So home and family life, your roots, your connection, your family as of the family you come from. It's also the family for those of you who have established your own family. And looking over the patterns there, where's the energy being dispersed? Is everybody doing their role? Is everybody pitching in and helping out? Or are you left doing everything? And you being a Cancerian, well, you are a homebody, and you like your home to be nice, look nice, and feel fresh, but you might just think it's enough already if you're the only one. So Mars is really going to help you, and it's going to take a long time because Mars normally transits through a sign in just 6 weeks. Here, it's in this area for a full length of nearly 8 months, and we've already come through a few of them. So it's going to be helping you to actually bring it up, you know, and to have talks, family meetings. How can we cooperate better? And we better cooperate better, or else, you know, well, what happens when a candle fizzles out, right? And that brings you up to that Plutonian energy that's going on in your 7th house for partnership. It might just take a toll on your marriage or your relationship if you're just overwhelmed with everything. And this is where Saturn's going to come in, help you put down new, should I say grassroots. It's like putting down new bricks in your path, you know, leading you into the future. And Saturn for you is in the area of children. So we have the home, we have children, we got your spouse. What does that, you know, add up to for you? It is really helping you, no matter what your partner, your spouse is, what sign he or she is born in, or what sign your children are born in. These are your positions. This is you, your outlook, your perception on what's going on. So when the home is retrograde, your marriage is retrograde, and then your marriage is Pluto, right? A transformation in the works. And then we have Saturn retrograde in the area of children. Well, that's really telling me that you now are working really, really hard at stabilizing future patterns, okay, and letting go. It's like throwing out the bathwater, but keep the baby, right? Don't throw the baby out. The same way. And we still have Jupiter in your 1st house, which is you. You know, that's your personality. That's what you're coming out with. But it's retrograding. But we'll go direct. Excuse me, I still have a cold. It's retrograding in this area, so you have time to align yourself with your own needs. What do I need? What do I need now so I can grow and expand? From March 6th, Jupiter is going to be going direct again after several months where it's been sleeping, and this is where you've been thinking and contemplating, preparing yourself for what now is to come with the Mars-Saturn, which is going to kick in, okay, between home, family, and children, and then of course Pluto up there will be affected too. We'll talk about that later. But Jupiter will be moving forward again from March 6th, and then shortly thereafter it's going to be aligning to an opposition to your spouse, okay? And then we've been around this before when Jupiter created this aspect a couple of months ago. The issue came up, and I think that's when you started thinking to yourself that, you know what, how much more do I want to put up with this? And so that's what Venus retrograde did for you. It looked over your values, what's important to you, what you want to keep and hold, and what you want to sort out, right? And then Mercury came around retrograde, helping you sort out the streamlined thinking of this and what needs to be tweaked. And now, here comes Mars. Action. This is you being in charge and taking your lead and being the captain on board your ship, saying, this, and that is what we need to do. And it's going to come really natural to you. You're not going to have to feel like you have to charge or be crass. You know, in the past you might have felt, well, this was expected of you. You know, everybody in the family is leaning on you, and you were that crutch. What happens when you take the crutch away? Do they all fall, or do they have to find their new balance? And what sign, when we're talking about balance, what sign is Mars in? It is going through this long-term transit in Libra. Libra's all about balance. What is right, what is wrong? You know, how much is too much and how much is too little? How can we give to one another, support one another, so the scales of Libra can balance in a harmonized way? This is your goal. Now, it sounds like we have this long-term, sleepy energy going on, and we say that the planets go to sleep when they retrograde, but they're not. Trust me, they're still working, but just in a different dimension. But it sounds long-term because we're way into July before things are going to start speeding up. So does that mean that everything's going to be hanging here on you right now? Not so. And this is where the daily astroscopes come in, and even also the taroscopes, because the dailies will give you the day-to-day activation insight, because it will be the fast-moving planets, which are direct, the Sun, Mercury, and the Moon, and especially the Moon, that will travel around and create aspects, transits to these planets. They will show those days where you're going to be really activated, where the planets kick into action, and then when they step back and you can take a little break from this transformation that you're trying to put in. And then the taroscopes, they kind of complement it, because whereas the astroscope shows the daily planetary motions, what you can expect from it, the taroscope shows more the people coming in to your life on a daily basis. Whether it's males, females coming in, what those interactions are. It's more personal. It's where you're at with your finances, your career, and what you can expect from your coworkers. It's more of a visual, okay? And I explain it more like a visual, like a little movie going on there, rather than speaking through the planets. So individually, they can stand all by themselves. When you put them together, they complement one another. So definitely that will keep you going with daily insights, while these long-term planets are going to be so-called asleep, and where you might feel, okay, now my life is slowing down to a stifle. Not so. Anyhow, we're moving right along because we have the full moon too here, Cancerians, this month in your third house, and the full moon here will be on March 16th. And third house is all about communication. It might be short distance travel. Some of you might just skip town just for a day or two, or maybe you might have somebody coming in to visit perhaps. But in this area, I also see how your heart is full, your soul is full. That's the moon, your feelings. And on this day, you might just feel that it might be a great day to have one of those family sit-downs, you know, so you can start talking about the new foundation that you're laying, the new rules in the home. Excellent day to do that. It's an excellent day to speak to your children, to your spouse, and whoever else that you're kind of programming in to your new onboard biocomputer hardware, right? You're erasing all the viruses now. And this is something that you've been at work at ever since last summer. So, you know, great changes take time. They don't come overnight. So it's how we evolve, and this evolution, you're doing great. So let's just go to the dates of this month and what you can expect. It's starting off really, really nice. Top of the month, March 1st, like I said, you got your new moon up there, but also it coincides with the Sun and Jupiter in a beautiful radiant angle in your chart, and the Sun is the essence of you. Jupiter is that where you're expanding now, and you're expanding this first house of your personality. The Sun is in your ninth house right now. And so you're expanding your personality from this area of the ninth house, which is that higher thinking, where you're visualizing the far-fetched horizons, okay? Not just the here and now. That's more third house. Ninth house is for you opening up for those far-fetched goals that you know are totally able and capable of manifesting. So March 1st, great day. And then we have here also, you know, Mars going retrograde on this day. But that's okay, because this balance between the Sun and Jupiter is actually excellent for you. Then we have a little kind of like, okay, so how did that go on the 1st? Because on the 2nd you got a Mars-Venus square, and that's your desires. You know, it's Mars, your actions, your goals, and Venus, which is your love, right? You might have a little hiccup, holding your breath, kind of like, okay, here we go, you know, because you're going to feel the prompt. Mars is now turned retrograde. You might now feel everything that you were thinking about, contemplating in January, February. Mars is now saying, now is the time. Kick into action. And you might ask yourself, well, am I ready for it? Because you're going to feel that cosmos is actually going to start now supporting you into this area of your home and family, right? And then on the 3rd, already the next day, you will feel empowered and strong, because this very same Sun is now sextiling Pluto, and Pluto is the pivotal point of transformation. And in your chart, that transformation that's going on is within the area of marriage. So for those of you in a good marriage, well, this just helps it right along. For those of you in a marriage that's like this and has been like this for a while, it's more like either now, you know, you push through and they step up and follow through, or you're thinking, I'm not going to do what I've been doing the last 3 to 5, 8, 10, 20 years. You know, if it's a marriage like this, this will just empower you to feel stronger about that. If the family or your relationship is not working, you're going to feel stronger about releasing it altogether. Not saying that you're leaving right now, because you'll probably give them this chance, you know, until July, you know, and see what the retrogrades do for them. Because either they awaken or they don't, and if they don't, well, you're empowered. You are strong now, Cancer. Okay? Then we have March 5th, we have Venus now moving out of the sign of Pisces. It is moving, out of the sign of Capricorn, where it's been for a long time, you know, since December, and then it retrograded in January. So here we are, you know, it still cruised straight through February too in Capricorn, but now it's releasing all of that, and Capricorn's all about structure. So you've had this long-term transit, and normally Venus moves really quickly, like, you know, 4 weeks and it's through a sign. It's lingered 3 months. So you have had time to contemplate the structure of your life, and those things that you value, and are you appreciated enough, or are you not appreciated enough? This is where your mind has been working. So now it's like it's done with it, and you can see how the timing of these things are coming together for you. Just as you're ready with your inner work, here we go. Venus is moving into Aquarius, which is not holding you the nose to the grindstone on this. It's releasing, because Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So that's those very instantaneous flashes of insights. It's that instantaneous knowledge, and it's also freeing you from, it doesn't have to be that serious. You might have been very serious the last 3 months. That's Capricorn. It's Earth. It's ruled by Saturn, so you felt like this. Now Uranus comes in, it frees you up. It cuts that umbilical cord, and you are so free-spirited now in your own mind that you can be more aloof to, and allow the others around you to act upon what they need to act, whereas you're thinking, I've already made my inner decisions, now it's up to them. So Venus is going to be much more now thinking outside of the box, new opportunities and possibilities. And this Venus then for you will be in the area of moving out of your 7th house for your relationship. That's where you've been thinking, you know, and trying to find your path. But now it's going to move out of this area into the 8th house, which is the house of intimacy, closeness. How close can we be now in this new? You're going to take your new steps into this area, and then you'll just check to see, is your partner following you along on this new staked out course or path of action. And Mercury is already there, and so Venus and Mercury together, there's going to be more intimate talks about these changes now that Mars is going to want to do and what Saturn's going to be wanting to do. You and your spouse will now see that here we go with these deeper talks, okay? It's going to be exciting, let me tell you though. But then we have here on the 13th, the Sun and Saturn. You've already had a few now interactions. The Sun is giving you a little guideline. Are you feeling that it's connecting? Saturn's saying yes, they're hearing it. That's the children, 5th house, or any creative projects. And also then on the 14th, we got Mercury and Mars. That's again having communication of new directions in the home. So by mid-month, and Mercury moving out of this area of Pisces in your 8th house into the 9th house, well, now your mind is going to be more expansive again. It's not going to have these deep one-to-one talks and intense talks to your spouse and your children. Now you're more like, now what do I want to do for me? You've already laid the ground, first half of March. And then you're starting off on your path. What do I want to do? What am I seeking? Mercury's looking for those divine answers, insights, guidance through spirit. So listen to spirit when spirit speaks to you. And in order to listen, you got to be quiet, or you got to have the chatter shut down in the home. So go find a quiet room or space, or go out in nature. Wherever it is that you find that divine zen is what is going to work for you. Then we have a little excitement going on there on the 18th. That is Venus and Uranus. Venus at this time is in your 8th house, and Uranus is in the 10th house. So that might just have to do with royalties or commissions. Maybe you might get a raise, or maybe you might receive an opportunity coming from your career area, which is that 10th house. So pay attention to it. Don't let those opportunities just fly by. Grab it while it's there. Then we have the 22nd, the Mercury and Neptune. Well, I think you're feeling really good. You're feeling spiritual. You're feeling that you are aligning yourself with your hopes, dreams, visions, all those good things that Neptune indicate. This is in the area of the 9th house. You might just have a spiritual revelation or sense of vision. Pay attention to your dreams, whether it's the nocturnal dreams or the daydreams. Neptune here is going to open. The only thing you want to be careful for, Neptune, when it's not functioning, if you have a difficult, challenged aspect to it in your natal chart, you don't want to get deceived or led astray, which Neptune can do. But in the higher level, and I always love to look at the higher levels of planets, because that's where we are ascending towards to embody and master these energies. So I want to see it as you having a wonderful divine day with the universe here. That is on the 22nd. 26th, Mercury then has absorbed the energy of Neptune, and now coming into a conjunction, a trine with Jupiter. And Jupiter here is now moving forward. You know, it's picking up speed. Mercury's communication, it is in the area of the 9th house to the 1st house, which is your personality. So on this day, whatever inspiration you had there with Mercury and Neptune on the 22nd, maybe you're now going to take action upon something here. And say the inspiration was to have more time with you and spirit and higher teaching, learning. Well, now you're going to start acting upon it, because that is you in that 1st house, your personality saying yes. And that Jupiter is the ruler of the 9th house. So you see how they tie in together, and they're perfectly beautiful, aligned with a golden trine here. So you're lucky. Then we're ending the month here on a good note. We got Mercury and Pluto. This is in the area also of higher truth and communication there. Pluto with your partner and how you're trying to create this transformation between you and him or her. And this should be good. It's like whatever was initiated early in the month, now you can take and look at it. It's like, how far have we evolved? Wow, the children are cleaning their rooms, you know. This really worked for us, you know, so good going and keep it up. Kind of like a review. And maybe also an epiphany coming from your spouse that might want to communicate how he or she feels. And then we have the 29th, Venus, which now is trine Saturn. And then that is in the area of children, your creative projects, your self-expression. There's a little, golden star here for you. That also what started earlier in the month. You'll start seeing it, you know, coming together. It's Saturn binds things. It gives it structure. And so there might be, you know, your children coming here and expressing something of maybe gratitude, all right? So this is pretty much what we have here for you, Cancer, this month here. So listen to your moon and your rising sign, and we'll catch up again in April. Bye now.
Do you follow Karen's daily scopes yet? If not, and wonder what they hold, click the sample link below and listen to both the Astro scope and Tarot scope, and get a feel for what you can expect in your love, career, and financial outlook for today.